So when I ask you, hey, solve with the quadratic formula, we're still solving for the same thing. When our quadratic is set equal to 0 and we're solving for x, we're finding x-intercepts, roots, solutions, zeros. So this right here is what we call the quadratic formula. Okay? If ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then the quadratic formula is this. Okay? I'm going to read it to you. Our solution, x, is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Plus or minus? Why is that there?
Is it because it could be a plus or a minus?
Well, it is because we get how many answers?
Infinite?
Two.
We get 2, okay? So, negative b plus this number over 2a is 1. Negative b minus this number over 2a is 1. Okay? Now, the quadratic formula for our purpose, I will write it on the board for you. But there will be a time in your life, like in high school, where you have to know it off the top of your head. Okay? To help you remember the quadratic formula, there are some teachers that sing it to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. Do you know the song?
I know from the whole thing.
Like, Pop Goes the Weasel. You don't know Pop Goes the Weasel? Okay, this will be the one and only time I sing for you. Don't ever ask me to do it again. Okay? Well, you're not going to get it. Okay? So, if you would like to help remember the quadratic formula, you can think of the song Pop Goes the Weasel. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay.
Wait, can you do that again?
Nope. That's too bad. All right. So, we are going to start with this example right here. All right? Help me out. What is our a value?
X, 2x squared.
No.
Well, on the bottom is 2. No, A is 1.
I just want to know what a is. Okay. What is b?
B is
Negative 6. And c is 4. Okay. So I'm going to write my formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Wait, what? It's like I say these things and people don't listen. Yes. Okay, if b is negative 6, what's negative b?
6.
So I'm just going to write 6 for negative b. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4. I'm going to use parentheses for a and c. We decided that a was 1 and c was 4. And a was 1. Okay? So step number 1. Plug in the numbers. Okay? Try not to do too much all at once. Okay? I'm going to write now that this is 6 plus or minus. What's negative 6 squared?
36.
Minus 4ac.
It would be just negative 16 minus 16.
Okay. I don't have any. Oh, okay. And then 2a is going to give me 2 in the denominator. Okay. Oh, hey, what is 36 minus 16? So we have 6 plus or minus the square root of 20 all over 2. Okay, now here's the deal. If we have a radical, what do we have to think about?
Reducing.
Is it reduced? So I want you to take a moment and think about the square root of 20. Is it reduced? If it's not, I want you to decide what it simplifies to. Okay. David, what do you think? Is the square root of 20 simplified?
Yes. Why'd you ask me this?
Well, because I thought you were thinking about it. Was I wrong?
Yes.
Awesome. Joey, what does it simplify to?
Is it going to be 3? No, that's because I reduced it. But I know for a fact that it will be
Wait.
reduced to radical,
So 20, what multiplies to 20, Joey? Okay. And we know 10 is 2 times 5. So what gets to come out?
2.
Okay, so 2 comes out, 5 stays underneath. Okay.
But don't you simplify the 6 and 2 or no?
So technically, okay, so technically we have 6 over 2 plus or minus 2 radical 5 over 2. Do you see what I did there? Mm-hmm. That divided by 2 goes with both the negative b and the radical that we got going on. Okay, well, can I reduce either of those?
Yes.
Yeah, how about both? I can reduce this to 3, and I can reduce this to radical 5. It is a good thing we didn't try to factor that quadratic equation because we could not have. If our answer has a radical, factoring was never going to be an option. Okay, now I'm going to ask that you just write your answer like this, and I know it looks weird. It's 2 numbers. It's 3 plus radical 5, and it's 3 minus radical 5. Those are our 2 answers. Now, if we put that in our calculator, okay, we'd get a decimal. They're irrational numbers, right? Radical 5 is an irrational number, okay? So 3 plus radical 5 would be like 5 point something, something, something. 3 minus radical 5 would be a number that's just a little bit bigger than 1. I mean, a little bit less than 1. Okay? But these would be like the exact answers. Okay? Here's the deal with the quadratic formula. It is always going to get you an answer. Always. No matter what. But it's a little tedious. Okay? So tomorrow we're going to talk about like when should we use the quadratic formula and when should we maybe not. Okay, but today we just need to practice using it so we know how to use it. Okay, so let's look at number 1 under the more practice. What's A? What's B? And what's C? -2. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to just set up the formula with this A, B, and C, and then I'm going to write mine down, and we're going to see if we did the same thing. Okay, do you have what I have? Okay, which would then turn to negative 10 plus or minus the square root. This becomes 100 plus 8. Do you agree with that? Okay, that minus 4 times 1 times negative 2 becomes plus 8. Okay, so now we got to take negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 108 over 2 and make some decisions. Do you think 108 can be simplified?
Yeah.
Okay, so help me out. What multiplies to 108? 9 and what?
12.
9 and 12. 9 is 3 times 3. And 12 is 4 times 3. 4 is 2 times 2. Okay, so what comes out of the radical?
Negative 6. Or 6 radical 3.
So 6 radical 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if negative 10 gets divided by 2 and 6 radical 3 gets divided by 2, then we're going to have negative 5 plus or minus 3 radical 3 as our answers. Negative 5 plus 3 radical 3 is 1, 0. Negative 3 minus 3 radical 3 is 1, 0.
So I know how you got the negative 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I know how you got the negative 3. And I'm guessing since, like, but where would you get the radical 3 from?
So I have negative 10 divided by 2,
It's the negative 5.
plus or minus 6 radical 3 over 2. Okay, so radical 2 stays as radical 2. And then since 6 and 2 are outside of the radical, we can divide those. But then the radical 3 has to stay. Okay. Dot, are you stretching your question? Okay. All right, what do you got to do in number 3 before you can do it? Okay, so x squared minus 8x minus 20 equals 0. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for you and the people at your table to work through this problem and try to get to your 2 solutions. Ready, set, go. That wind just is pretty much terrible. What's wrong? What's bothering you?
Just someone who's pushing when clearly we don't.
Oh, I did not hear anybody pushing.
Well, something that's gonna be just a little bit hard for me to figure out is just how the strategy works. It's gonna be a little difficult for me to figure out.
How so? It's just a formula. There's no strategy. It's just a formula. All right. Do you have 8 plus or minus 64 plus 80? All over 2? So you end up with 8 plus or minus the square root of 144 over 2? Hold on. 144. That's a perfect square. Right. So since it's 12 squared, it can be reduced to 12. Okay? Now, here's the deal. Please do not leave your answer as 4 plus or minus 6. Hey, what's 4 plus 6?
10.
What's 4 minus 6? There are your 2 answers. Okay, now if you use the quadratic formula and you get integer answers or even rational answers, that means you could have factored.
What did you say?
I whispered and you couldn't hear me. That was very interesting.
He was talking very loud.
Okay, if you get rational answers for your quadratic formula, that means it would have been possible to factor. Yeah. So today, I want all quadratic formula because I need you to practice the formula. Okay? Okay. All right. All right, do number 5, get an answer, we'll check it together, and then we'll go from there. Okay? Do number 5.
Number 5, Lucas. Number 5.
Hey, maybe you should do what I asked and stop talking to each other about non-math related topics. You guys can like be working together. That doesn't matter for me. Oh no! What's happening? We got a situation, don't we? A radical with -4 underneath. What'd you say, Lydia? That can't happen.
Isn't it imaginary? Or is that just like...
It is, but we don't know imaginary. There's no solution. What does that mean?
It means it can't be reduced.
I don't have to
It's
do
not
more
a
words.
perfect square, it can't be reduced.
It can't be flat line and you real numbers.
Okay, graphically.
not touching the x-axis.
It does not go through the x-axis, okay? In this case, since our parabola opens up, our vertex is above the x-axis and it opens up, okay? So do you remember a couple days ago you had homework where you plugged numbers into b squared minus 4ac to decide if it was positive, negative, or 0? And then that told you if there was 2, 1, or 0 solutions? B squared minus 4ac is this guy right here. That was part of the quadratic formula. If the number underneath the radical is negative, we can't have that. We have no solutions. If the number underneath the radical is 0, that gets rid of all of this, and we just have negative b over 2a. If the number underneath the radical is positive, then, like you saw here, we get 2 solutions. Tinley, you don't love that? Okay. Hey, this is actually nice because if we get a negative number, we're done. No solution. It's less work. Brian, do you have a question? Okay.